know, that kind of looks dark to me. Not that you haven't had dark videos before. Okay, so anyway, Jamie had a mental breakdown about 4 days ago because she's gone without bread for 3 weeks now, and she misses it a lot. And we've gone out, we've tried to find wheat-free bread, yeast-free bread, dairy-free bread, and we did eventually find one, but she didn't like it, and we couldn't force her to eat it. We tried sending her to school with a sandwich and, you know, multiple different types of sandwiches. She won't eat it. So knowing that we can't give her regular bread, I actually found a recipe online called, well, it's gluten-free. We were told to try to avoid gluten-free products, but I'm desperate because I really want her to eat and not lose weight. So this gluten-free vegan bread is, there's no yeast, there's no wheat. Like, she can't have wheat flour or white flour. Of course, she can't have milk. So, I mean, it's a real challenge. But I read the ingredients, and it calls for chickpea flour, which she can have. Tapioca flour, rice flour, baking soda, like all the ingredients in here she can have. So that is a good thing. So I'm gonna make this bread and hope for the best, and hopefully she'll like it so that we can start sending her to school with sandwiches again, because she really misses her bread. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we already know I'm not much of a cook. I'm definitely not much of a baker. So this should be interesting. I really hope it turns out. Anyway, so it says start by preheating the oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which I've done. I'm having a lot more luck with this stove, but our new stove will probably be here within the next 4 weeks. So it is what it is. So I'm supposed to place the chickpea flour, rice flour, tapioca flour, baking powder, bicarbonate of soda, well, that's another name for baking soda, and salt in a large bowl and mix well. So I'll do that. Calls for 1 1/4 cup of chickpea flour. Okay, I think I'm gonna need a pair of scissors, so I'll be back. Scissors. And hopefully she likes it. I'm trying so hard to find her foods that she likes. You know me, I gotta smell everything. Doesn't really have much of a smell. Okay, so that's 1 1/4 cup. Ooh. Okay. There we go. You get an elastic to secure this. In fact, I'm going to get a few elastics so I can secure them right away. I have a whole bunch of elastics. Oh, that's a big one. Ah! I don't even know where it went. It just broke and shot across the kitchen. Yep. I think it's on the floor over there. That would have hurt if it hit me in the face. Okay, let's try this again, shall we? Now I'm all nervous. Okay. That one is secure. 1 1/4 cup of rice flour. My rice flour burst a little bit. It's leaking. So I'm going to open it from the opposite side, on the side that it's actually leaking. Okay. Ooh! Just about dumped way more than I needed. That was 1 cup and almost 1/4 that I just dumped in there by accident. Okay. Oh man, I need to be more careful. I really do want this to turn out. Okay. Let's take an elastic and do the same thing. This one, as I did with the other one. Okay, here we go. And 2 tablespoons of tapioca flour. Someone is agreeing. Sometimes I can't tell the difference between Jamie's screen, my 7-year-old, or Jared's screen, my 12-year-old. Oh, it's adorable. Okay, and then 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And then 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Done. And then salt. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'll open this up over my sink instead of all over my floor like I did last time. See, I don't have to be told twice. Okay. So I'm supposed to mix that all together. So I've got my nice handy dandy wooden spoon. Didn't really think you needed to see me mixing it today. Alright, now I'm supposed to add 1 cup any plant-based milk, because this is a vegan recipe, but I'm not vegan, and nobody in my family is vegan. So I just got some almond milk, but no sugar added, because Jamie can't have sugar. So 1 cup of almond milk. Just stick this back in the fridge. And water, 1/4 cup of water, so I'll grab some of that from our cooler. And apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Ugh. I didn't mean to touch my nose with that. I was trying to smell it. Okay. So I'm supposed to mix all this together. Maybe I should have set up a secondary camera for you to see this. Bang, bang, bang. That's better. Wonder if I should be using a blender. A couple of years ago, I got my finger caught in a door and it was just about severed. It's actually my thumb. And my son, Jared, rescued me from losing my thumb by catching the door before it completely... It wasn't like a normal door, it was a big, like, double door, really, really heavy, and like with metal edges, and I might have talked about this before, but anyway, I put my thumb where it shouldn't have been, and it just about cut it right off, and to this day, I ache in my joint on my thumb. So stirring like this isn't easy for me, because it gives my thumb grief. I'm not complaining though, I'm just saying. I shouldn't even be talking about it then, right? Okay, so now what? Transfer the mixture to a loaf tin, like a 1 pound loaf tin lined with greased baking paper. Okay, I'll go and grab a tin and baking paper and vegetable oil spray. Okay, it's kind of weird greasing my baking paper. But it's to prevent the bread from sticking to the tin, I guess. And I feel like you get it to stay in there. Here, let's do that. There we go. I don't know about this. And this doesn't smell that good. Oh, actually it does. I don't know what I'm smelling, but smelling that close up actually smells kind of nice. I'm surprised. Huh. Okay. I'm gonna grab a knife. And I grabbed a metal spoon. Oh man, I should have had my other camera set up so you can see exactly what this looks like. Okay. Okay, so I'm squishing it down, using up every area of this bread pan. So with this spoon, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I'm trying to even it all out. Oh, I hope this turns out. I'll be so happy, and I hope it tastes great. I want Jamie to love it. And then I'll make it for her every week. Because it doesn't take much time. I think the longest, it's gonna take more time to bake than it does to prepare. So just like that. Bake in the oven for around 50 minutes until risen and an inserted skewer comes out dry. It will probably have a few crumbs stuck to it, but if it comes out wet, then the bread isn't done. Leave to cool on a wire rack before putting it away to store. Keep well in the fridge for up to a few days. Or keeps well in the fridge for up to a few days. Whose recipe is this anyway? Oh, by Rianne Williams. Thanks, Rianne. I hope that my daughter likes this because it'll sure be a godsend. Tips for making this recipe. Well, I'll read those while I'm baking it. I'm going to put this in the oven now. I'm going to move one of the racks down. And And then I'm gonna put this on the middle rack. Okay. So the batter might look more runny than you expect, but it's not at all. But a lot of liquid is needed as chickpea flour absorbs a lot of moisture. Make sure that you line your 1 pound loaf tin with baking paper, which I did, and that you grease the baking paper with a little oil to make sure the bread can be removed easily from the tin. If you've kept your bread in the oven for the right amount of time, and it's still not done in the center, and the outside is becoming hard or burned, then I would recommend covering it with a piece of baking paper to prevent the outside from becoming burnt, and continuing to bake it until an inserted skewer comes out dry. Excuse me. It'll probably have a few crumbs stuck to it, but if it comes out wet, then the bread isn't done. We already said that. Make sure to leave the bread to cool down completely on a cooling rack before packing it away to store, because otherwise the steam from the warm bread will get trapped and you'll end up with soggy bread, which nobody wants. It keeps well covered in the fridge for a few days, and if not eaten on the day it's made, it's best toasted before eating. That's interesting to know. So if you don't eat it on the first day, it's best toasted before eating. I wonder why that is. Because I'll find out. If you're freezing it, you can just slice it up and put the whole thing in the freezer. Then when you want to eat it, you can just pop the slices of bread in the toaster straight from frozen. So we'll see how it goes. This is a learning curve. I'll see you in 50 minutes. Okay, I got impatient. It's very, very cracked. I don't know, this isn't looking very promising. But I'm a little bit perturbed because it's supposed to take 50 minutes to bake. And so it was supposed to be ready at 4:23, I think? Yeah, 4:23. But it was still, when I stuck the metal skewer in it, it came out and it's still wet stuff on it. So then I checked again at 4:28, and then 4:33, and then 4:38, and then 4:43. I kept checking every 5 minutes to see if it was ready yet. And now we're looking at, can you even see that? 4:56. And it's still, the skewers are still coming out wet. So I don't know what to do. I'm just thinking it's garbage. But, because if it's still raw on the inside, we obviously can't eat it. We can't use it as bread. So anyways, I'm gonna take it out, put it on a rack. Let's see what it looks like. It's probably, you know, as hard as rock. Inside's wet, outside's hard as rock. Isn't that great? That looks terrible. Like, it didn't say that I was supposed to, like, roll it or knead it or anything like that. It just said to place it into the bread pan. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna put it on a rack right now and see what it looks like. This is a joke. It didn't rise or anything. And it is pretty hard. I don't know. Not looking very promising. Maybe I will try it again. Not today. Another time, and maybe I will knead it and roll it. I don't know. It doesn't say to do that though, but this just does not look very good. It smells really good. The looks are deceiving. Well, I'm gonna let it cool off and yeah, I guess we'll try it when it's cool. I don't know. What a joke. Oh, at least I tried, but you know, it would have been a miracle if it actually turned out. Alright, buddy, try the bread that I made for Jamie.
Well,
It doesn't have any yeast in it, has no flour, has no sugar,
Wait, how does it
has no dairy.
Does it look like bread?
It does not look like bread.
It's crunchy, huh? Oh, it's real. You're gonna make me drop my camera. The outside is really crunchy. It doesn't taste good?
3 out of 10.
A 3 out of 10? Okay, Jamie, try the bread.
Oh,
Take a little bite of the bread.
since Jared doesn't like it, I don't think I'll like
Well, probably not. Apparently the outside's very crunchy.
it. I don't want to try it.
Come
no.
on, you need to try it. I made it for you, Jamie
I
Lynn.
know. Can't cut it. Oh.
I'm gonna have to try again. I'm gonna wait till we get a new stove or a new oven because I have a feeling our oven had something to do with how crappy it turned out.
It's so hard.
We have to eat more than the hard stuff.
She might like the crunchy though. She likes crunchy stuff.
Too hard.
Like the soft part.
Try the soft part.
I didn't have a drink. I don't like the flavor of it.
Okay, what would you give it then?
A 3.
Okay.
Okay, you can try your food now.
I'm trying it.
Yep. You
Can
probably.
you hear that?
Yep, that was your teeth, not the bread.
It's not bad.
Yes, it is.
It's not bad actually.
You're funny.
I think heat it up with some butter and some honey. That'd be really good. I'll give it a 4.
Yep, that's what I thought.
All by itself, it's not that great.
It's a rock.
It's pretty hard.
You're eating a rock.
Very crunchy.
Oh. It's garbage.
What are you doing? You're getting me killed.
Hi.
No.
So, I wish I would have caught you on camera trying my bread.
Yeah, because it was a brick. It's like, oh, yeah. It's not funny. It was yucky.
It's the first time you've ever said anything I've made is yucky.
But it was a brick. I swear you were making bricks. It was like, I think you overcooked it, and you're like, it wasn't cooked enough. I don't think you cooked. I think you overcooked it. You
Well,
killed it.
let me tell you what happened.
It died a horrible death.
No, listen.
No, seriously, it did. I saw it.
You're supposed to bake it for 50 minutes, okay?
Not 5 days.
And then, no, listen. And then it said to stick a metal skewer inside the bread at 50 minutes. And when you pull it out, no, there was no chunky chunk. And when you pull it out, if it had wetness on it, it was not cooked. And I was supposed to bake it keep baking it. So I checked every 5 minutes for the next 35 minutes. And every time I stuck the skewer in and I pulled it out, it was wet. So I finally gave up because the wetness was not going away. So I took it out and I put it on the top of the oven. And then that's what happened. So I don't like our oven.
I don't think it was the oven.
Well, explain the wetness.
Explain the horrible death that your poor loaf suffered.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, what would
This
you
is
give
so
it?
sad. Can you go negative? It was that bad. I had to take the crust off, and it's like there's next to nothing left of it now. The insides
Well,
were.
I'm not
too bad,
going
I
to
guess.
attempt to make it again
Okay, thank
until
God.
I have
I mean, that's okay.
until I have a new oven. And then I'm going to try one more time, and hopefully the results are better next time.
You think?
I'm hoping.
Yeah, I hope too. 'Cause I just.
I wish I would have caught you trying it on camera, but I was in my office talking to a friend when you tried it, so.
Yeah, I told her about the bread. She's like, "Oh, special bread." And I special, all right.
You said you chipped a tooth on my bread.
Just a little bit.
Fine, I tried.